If another man can do it, then so can you. That was a phrase that I lived by for so long, even at a young age where perhaps my circumstances weren't as favourable as a set percentage of people. I knew that it was possible to make it. And that is the hope and inspiration that you have to take. There's multi-millionaires that I know today that are quite wealthy and they've accomplished a lot in their decades of consistency and hard work. And they came from circumstances and conditions that you cannot believe. Both of their parents passing away at the age of 19 and 20, living in, scraping by, renting in the cheapest place possible, working 2-3 jobs at once. And yet here they are decades later as multi-millionaires, and they've built up that wealth of experience and talent and assets. And if these people have made it, what's your excuse? There are people that have made it that have come from significantly more worse conditions than the circumstances and condition that you find yourself in. You really have no excuse. If another man has pulled it off, then what's stopping you from pulling it off? That is something I've always lived by, and it's something that I'm expressing to you in this video right now. What's preventing you from taking that step right now? Don't think about resources too specifically. Learn to be resourceful, not always emphasizing and focusing on the resources. Yes, of course, that helps. But what can you do right now with the resource that you have in place, with the circumstances, building block by building block, step by step? It's a marathon. It's not a 100-meter sprint. You don't have to become a multi-millionaire if that's what you want, of course, because everyone's goals are different. But you don't have to accomplish your goals within 3 months. Who said you have to? Says who? There is no specific time frame. That time frame you set upon yourself. The importance is the journey, because you will find that when you reach the destination, when you reach the top of the mountain, you have to look for more mountains. When you accomplish that goal, you have to look for more goals. There's no rush. As long as you're on the right track, you're on the right path, you're dedicated, you're consistent, eventually you will achieve what you want to achieve. As I said, there's people that have come from far worse conditions and circumstances than you. And here's another thing, and I'm going to paraphrase here, and Dan Pena, a sort of half Mexican billionaire, right? He's very famous for getting quite aggressive, but nonetheless, he's a very wealthy man. He says something extremely profound, which I agree with. And he said that you cannot ever consider IQ as a factor. People will always use the excuse of, yeah, but Elon Musk is a multi-billionaire because he's an absolute genius and I'm not a genius and his IQ is so much higher than mine. But here's the thing about IQ. If you look at the standard deviation and you look at the average returns of IQ, right? The average IQ across the planet is approximately just under 100. It's about 95 to 100. You can look it up on Google, you can look up the statistics. The lowest IQ that a man likely has is around 70, let's say. Now, if you have an IQ of approximately 140, you're automatically in the top 1.5% of the populace. So let's take the highest IQ individual, just over 140, and the individual, the man that has approximately an IQ of 70. It's a 2x difference. So his intelligence, let's say on paper, he is 2 times smarter than you. But how come his net worth, his assets is about 100 million? Of course, I'm being hyperbolic here. 100 times greater than yours. How comes he has so many more assets, and why is he so much more wealthier than you? Because the answer is intelligence isn't that much of a significant factor as you think it is. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be a very intelligent person to accomplish your goals. Please eradicate that mindset. Put it into one corner. Does it help? Of course, it's a bonus. But that's all it is. It's just a bonus. If you're smart, fantastic. You might make quicker decisions. Your decision making might be better. You might make better calculated risks, for example. But anything that you do in life, any action that you take in life is a risk automatically. You don't have to be smart. There are people that I know that are millionaires and people that consider themselves as wealthy, And people that look at them from the outside, the perception from the outside and that perspective is that this person's very successful, he has it all. These people are bozos. Not all of them, of course, but some of them are genuinely not clever. I've sat down and had actual conversations with these people, and with all due respect, with the greatest respect, I was actually a little bit underwhelmed. And it really begs the question, IQ isn't as big of a factor as you can imagine. It really isn't. So that's one thing. IQ is a massive thing. But as I said, as I alluded to earlier, if another man has pulled it off, what's stopping you from pulling it off, especially with the circumstances that they come from? Gentlemen, you really have no excuse. And as I said, it's not a race. It's not a 100-meter sprint. It's not a 200-meter race. You don't have to do it within 9 months. Says who? Who told you you have to accomplish all your goals within 9 months or you're a failure? These are arbitrary benchmark numbers that you've bestowed upon yourself for no goddamn reason. Take a step back. Evaluate and assess the situation. Identify, is the goals that I've set true and congruent with my belief system and congruent with where I want to be in life, where I want to be in life, not what mummy and daddy wants me to do, not what my best friend wants me to do, not what my spouse wants me to do, what I want to achieve in life. Is it congruent with my beliefs in terms of perhaps geographical freedom, financial freedom, or things that I want to do in my free time? Maybe give back to my community or certain passions that you want to pursue, no problem at all. Identify your goals. Is it the goals that you want to achieve? Now, you can set a timeline. You can say, I would like to achieve this in 3 to 5 years. I would like to achieve this in 6 months. But only God knows when you'll achieve that. As long as you're dedicated and you're consistent every single day, you will no doubt eventually achieve that goal. It doesn't matter. Don't be so specific about, I must achieve this within a year. Because the likelihood is it might not happen. It just might not happen. And then what? You throw the towel in and you just give up? Of course not. Of course not. So have the goals in place. Understand that a man or not just a man, there's an individual that has come from far worse conditions than you, has accomplished their wildest dreams possible. Just understand that if they've been able to do it, so can you. Please understand that. So hopefully something that you've understood, something that you've gained benefit and value from. If you have, consider subscribing, hit the bell notification, leave me your thoughts and opinions in a comment section below. And I'll see all of you guys for my next video. Peace.